Imagine devoting your whole life to a mission you believed was righteous, only to realize too late that it cost you the people who mattered most. This is the journey of a priest whose devotion blinded him until tragedy forced him to open his eyes. His story isn't about perfection. It's about regret, redemption, and the fragile hope that we can still make things right. Long ago, in a land of quiet valleys and ancient temples, there lived a priest revered by his community. To many, he was a beacon of devotion, eloquent in his sermons, tireless in his duties, unwavering in his faith. He wished sincerely for the well-being of his followers. Yet beneath that gentleness lay a fierce, unexamined zeal. His loyalty to his faith was absolute, unyielding to the point of blindness. Those who believed differently he labeled as misguided at best, enemies at worst. He preached compassion, but carried a righteous fire in his chest. He led debates that grew into quarrels that swelled into raids. His followers took up arms not for survival, but for conquest, under the banner of the faith he held sacred. One afternoon, as he rallied his men for another march into a neighboring city, his housemaid ran to him with terror in her eyes, cradling his young child. The child trembled with fever, breath shallow and fading. "Please," she begged, "your child needs you." The priest hesitated, but only for a moment. He said, "I cannot stop now. Souls must be saved. This mission is more important than anything." With a dismissive gesture, he sent her away. The maid, heart-shattering, carried the dying child back into their quiet home. Days later, as the priest's crusade collapsed into chaos and loss, many of his followers slain, the battlefield stained with failure, the priest's child passed away. The maid knelt before the grave of the priest's late wife, trembling with grief. "I promised I would protect them," she whispered. "Forgive me. I have failed." But she had failed nothing. She had done all she could. Only the priest had abandoned what truly mattered. When he returned, shame awaited him. The congregation turned its back on him. Whispered accusations spread like wildfire. His closest friend, another priest, condemned him openly. He cared more for victory than for his own flesh and blood. Cast out in disgrace, stripped of title and honor, the priest retreated to a lonely mountain cabin. The maid followed him, refusing to abandon him even now. He did not know she loved him. He did not know she had once been a frightened girl he had rescued years before, or that her gratitude had grown into devotion and devotion into love. Up in the mountains, the priest sank into a fog of grief and regret. For months he said little, drifting through days like a ghost. The maid tended to him, offering warmth where he had only cold memories, hope where he held despair. One evening, as the cabin glowed with soft orange sunset, she gathered her courage and confessed the love she had carried for so long. Her words cracked something inside him, not pain, but a tender ache he had long forgotten how to feel. Slowly, her presence drew him back toward life. But fate, indifferent to human longing, struck again. The maid fell ill with a swift and merciless sickness. No prayer, no regret, no pleading could save her. In her final moments, she smiled weakly and whispered, "You still have goodness in you. Remember that." Her death left the priest hollow. Yet her absence made him see what he had overlooked his entire life: his child, his wife, the maid, and all the countless people he had harmed in the name of righteousness. "What I would give for a second chance," he cried into the silence. But the world remained still. There are no second chances for the past, only chances to face it. So he began to write. Day after day, page after page, he poured his failures into journals, confessions, stories, warnings, and prayers. He painted the faces of those he had lost. He sketched the cities he had harmed. He wrote not for absolution, but to ensure he would never forget. For a long time, this was his world: ink, regret, and the lonely wind. One stormy night, a frantic knocking broke the silence. A young woman stumbled inside, soaked, bruised, terrified. She had been driven from her village for questioning the strict teachings of her faith, the same zealous teachings the priest once enforced. When she recognized him, the former crusader priest, her breath caught. The priest froze as well. This young woman was exactly the kind of enemy he once persecuted. But this time, instead of preaching, he listened. This time, instead of judging, he protected. He tended her wounds, fed her, sheltered her from the storm. For the first time since the maid's death, he felt the faint warmth of purpose, not grand and blinding, but quiet and human. Before she departed, he placed one of his journals in her hands, the one describing the day he abandoned his child. "If my regret can save even one life," he told her, "then my suffering was not wasted." The young woman embraced him, tears streaking her cheeks. She promised she would carry his lessons onward. Weeks later, she returned, this time guiding a group of weary travelers lost in the mountains. The priest welcomed them, offering warmth and tea. They listened in stunned silence as he spoke openly of his failures and the danger of faith twisted into pride. When the travelers departed, they asked to copy his journals and share them with others. He agreed, hoping his mistakes might prevent more suffering. Before leaving, the young woman lit a small lantern and placed it outside his cabin. "To show others the way," she said. Travelers began leaving lanterns too, first out of gratitude, then as a tradition. Soon, a winding trail of lights led down the mountainside, glowing softly through the night. The priest lived out the rest of his days, writing, painting, teaching the occasional traveler, and tending the lanterns when the snow grew heavy. When he finally passed away, it was in his sleep, peaceful, pen still in hand. His last words, written in trembling strokes: "If love is remembered and regret is transformed, then even a broken life can light another's path." The travelers returned to honor him. That night, they lined the entire path from the peak to the valley floor with lanterns, turning the darkness into a river of gold. They named it the Lantern Path. And to this day, pilgrims walk it, not to praise the priest, but to learn from his regrets, to walk gently in their own faith, and to remember that even the gravest mistakes can be shaped into compassion when one dares to face them with honesty.
If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and comment below. We will see you next time.